This chart is the reason that AI is not making developers obsolete anytime soon. In fact, it shows how development skills are more valuable than ever, and this is not a phenomena of just one product. It affects every product that gives people who are not developers some degree of ability to code. And the way AI model progress has been plateauing lately suggests this may not change anytime soon, if ever. Anyone who's not a developer but has used tools like Bolt or Cursor or V0 to build basic applications from prompts know all too well the pit of death that you eventually always fall into. Things start fast and awesome. The basic scaffold of your page or your site or even some of the basic functionality comes in seconds. But then you start prompting more and more, and you start to struggle more in getting what you want out of it. As the application gets more complex, the behaviors you're looking for don't seem to come out quite as easily. And then eventually, some prompt you use breaks everything. Nothing works, and no matter what you try, the AI cannot get out of this corner. That's the pit of death, and I've seen it happen over and over and over. Some esoteric bug is just too challenging for the LLM to solve on its own, and then that's it, your app is done. If you find yourself lucky enough to not land in a pit of death, you'll probably hit a plateau of death instead, where again, after a certain number of prompts, you just don't seem to be able to make progress anymore. There's truly only one fix for these situations, and that is you gotta roll up your sleeves and get in the code and fix whatever the AI couldn't. Whether that means solving some very esoteric bug, or implementing some features so that the AI can continue off of your implementation, there's always a point where the human is needed. Even if the model's got 10x better, I don't think you'll actually offset the development need by that much. The reality is LLMs are good at code generation, but code generation and writing is only one part of many of software development. And in my experience, when an engineer comes in to unblock the AI, the next pit of death is just right around the corner. And as the application gets more complex, you need the developer intervention more and more in shorter and shorter intervals. Eventually what ends up happening is you go from products that don't require any development to ultimately exporting that code and needing developers to fully take it over, and now the developers use different tools that are similar but more focused on code editing. And that's not to say that the tools that didn't require development in the beginning aren't useful. They actually can be incredibly useful for things like prototyping.
This is the hold on. This is a good case of you guys aren't developers. You guys don't know what you don't know. So you guys are using V0, Bolt, Builder.io, and like thinking you guys are full stack developers until you reach a full stack problem. And then you see what tools we use and you're like, what the fuck is that? Leave the professional stuff to the pros. You feel me? If you can't build the app, just pay a nigga to do it. At least it'll be cheaper to maintain. And if you don't want to pay someone to do it, then you'll have to live with whatever issues your app has. It's no in
Didn't
between.
require development in the beginning aren't useful, they actually can be incredibly useful for things like prototyping, making simple internal tools, and micro applications like a pricing calculator. Now, the big question is how do you use these things to make your lives better? As an engineer, designer, product manager, marketer, whatever your role is. I think there's a few heavily overlooked use cases that you could adopt in your workflows now to make your life a lot better by using these tools and leaning into where they're going. As an engineer myself, the two things that drive me the most insane are poorly written specifications, where we didn't fully understand the problem and what really is needed to solve it, and ever-changing requirements, where it turns out our original guesses were wrong, customers and feedback told us different things, and now halfway through building the thing, we're changing how we're doing it and everything's becoming a mess. In my experience, you have to get hands-on with an application to really know how it needs to be used. Even better, get it in real users' hands, even if it's not fully functional.
That is
Just
a
having users
funny
go through the
photo.
actual flows and testing the things that looked good in wireframes and designs, but maybe actually don't feel right in practice, can really help improve your product UX. But if you have to build the whole thing before you learn that, that's wildly inefficient and can lead to very messy code bases. Alternatively, with these rapid prototyping AI tools, we can iterate before we actually commit to building the full thing. We can try out the flows even if all functionality is not there. If we're lucky, we can even get direct user feedback in small ways and learn as much as possible early before we then commit to a finalized spec and building the real full application. But there's other implications I believe coming soon too. While I don't think programming is going away at all, I think it will change. I think every year we're going to see a major reduction in actually handwritten CSS code. The same way you don't handwrite a PDF, you export it from a tool. Design and design to code tools are becoming so good that they can generate CSS for you, shockingly close to how you would have written it yourself. In doing that, we can stay exactly true to the original design spec and avoid a lot of redlining and back and forth to make this look correct. But I don't think it needs to stop there. I think looking to the future, the big question is, how do we get more tedious development off of our plates so that developers don't need to update colors, add a simple section, modify text, tweak some logic? If marketing or product or design needs small changes, how can we give the tooling like they'd have for a fresh new app with something like bolts, but compatible with a real application with real.
Honestly, don't tell him. Because I feel like he's just going to implement it in his app and then make it harder for you guys to decipher if you need a developer or not. Great business, but it's usually people like that that don't have the best product. I'm not going to lie to you. If you do have a project, and this is what my mentor usually told me when it comes to project, you give yourself 3 days. If you can't see yourself making an MVP in 3 days, then like you either need to one work on your skills, and I'm talking about 24 hours, 24 hours, 24 hours, not like 12 hours, 12 hours, 12 hours. My mentor worked at SpaceX, so he was part psychotic. That's what I always told him. He thought certain shit that was like annoying was fun. So he said you take a whole weekend, you build it. He would go to Burning Man and just sit there and like build shit. Dude, you would think it's impossible, but in 3 days, you lock yourself and just focus on that one thing. I don't think it'll take a year. That's what I'm saying. I don't think like a lot of these projects will take a year.
Really.
So some of the workarounds and stuff that y'all getting into, like let's say one day you can't figure out this bug. It may be that you're not that good at that area too. Like we're putting a lot of pressure on AI to do things that we train it to do. You get what I mean? So you may not be good at the area you're asking AI to do it. You may not even be explaining it to a point where he can teach you how to be good. Always keep that into consideration when you're using these models because you have to be good, not like average or the average Joe. Like you have to be, this data is going to be trained against itself to get the best version of itself. Like Devin, they hacked into Devin and 5 Devins already fixed it before it was a huge internal issue. So you, as a developer, have to genuinely be good, not like average. And then next year, you probably have to be great. And in the year after, you probably have to be AGI. So just understand this tech space, it ain't for like not good people. If you suck at coding, just struggle. If you don't know how to problem solve, like if I tell you I need help with this and you can't even speak it out to me, that's an issue. So remember, you it's okay to be not confident in your ability, but at what point do you let a nigga know that you know what you're talking about?
Users and real developers that work on it daily. Luckily, I work on a team that built one of these products, so I can just show you what's coming soon, specifically around how AI could better fold into full team workflows and automate a lot more than just an initial prototype creation. The first interesting one is something called code sync. This is where you can not just convert a design to code with AI, but you can then modify the code, and when the design updates again, there's a link back to the code, so the code gets granularly updated with just the design change, without developers having to do that by hand at all. So let's say AI converted the design to code, you added all kinds of logic and modifications. Now the design has new colors, new buttons, modified text, and tweaked styles. With code sync, you can just push the changes right back to your codebase with the most granular update possible and review and merge it. This is currently in private beta and we're hoping to roll it out soon. Another interesting and under-leveraged approach.
Yeah, because I was about to say you guys have like a little GitHub thing project going on over there, which is cool. Like I'm all for it. I'm all for it. See, you get that onto your platform, I'll be a happy buyer, and I'm a developer. I'll boop, boop, boop.
Approach that already exists today is using a deeply AI integrated CMS. So in the case of Builder, what you can do is section off parts of your site or app and decide what regions can be controlled by the CMS. These regions can be assigned to specific teams, like the homepage body goes to the marketing team, a hero section goes to a merchandising team, etc. And then you can use generative AI just like you would with Bolt, Cursor, Zero, or whatever, but the updates go directly to the site or app published over an API. Think of it as like Bolt embedded in your site and app, with whatever rules and restrictions you want around it. What that unlocks is not just crazy generative AI use cases within your live sites and apps, but it opens up two other really interesting use cases. The first one is integrating agents into this AI CMS structure. One use case we're
That's why
exploring
I
is being
waited.
able to have like a Slack bot, where you might have a conversation about what you'd like to
Alright, so here's what I'll say, Builder. I know where y'all going with it, and I think that you were the first person to buy Devin. Don't do it, bro. One of the issues I faced when making an LLM was like I couldn't get it off my computer once it was there. Like I had to like force delete it, shut my computer down, and do a whole bunch of like restarting to ensure that it was deleted. And it was on a flash drive, bro. You're gonna put an AI agent on your program, controlling all the data and information that goes through. You are 100% going to get issues like sending messages to the wrong team, or missed orders, or free orders. Something that's like out of this world that you may or may not want to use AI agents ever again. The only reason I'm saying that is because you can't guarantee what response they gonna give you. They train on too much parameters, and whatever you tell it could mean something completely different than what another person would tell it. The prime time spent, what, 20 to 25 hours trying to convince Devin to push his code to
change in
commit,
your
bro.
homepage or ID
Push his code to commit, bro. And it was to the point where he was trying not to get frustrated, but like, why is there so much back talk or banter or like, as a developer, you'll get it. You feel me? Like, it's so much tedious stuff that you gotta go around when working with generative AI or LLMs. It's like a parent trying to figure out what you want to eat. Like, what do you want to eat? I don't know. I want McDonald's, Chipotle, Popeyes. All the parent wants to know is what you want to eat, bro. The little generative AI in front of us is seeing a whole bunch of fuck shit. Like, come on now, just pick one answer so we could go there and come back, bro. Like, I got stuff to do. That's what it's like using an AI agent, and I don't think Devin is going to be the best, like the best. I ran this as a 10% test, and we saw.
ideas on things you could do differently, and you just tag the builder agent in Slack, and it'll read the conversation, apply the suggestions as like a 5 or 10% test, and then come back a week later and let you know how that test performed. In this world, for those self contained regions that are probably more marketing focused, and things you don't really need or want to have in code anyway, the agent could just make those updates end to end autonomously and do the tedious work and just let you know what the results are each time. We could even take that one step further and let the AI auto optimize things. So in a CMS like Builder, where all content is also tied to analytics, when you produce content through the CMS, the AI agent can automatically start creating A B test variations, leveraging context it already knows about your business, and finding what variant converts best, and scaling that up to 100% of traffic completely.
So that is a great analysis, but on the flip side, what if the information or data that you're inputting just doesn't have the same impact as another LLM model? Like you limiting yourself by making it a Slack bot, bro. Like there's a whole bunch of different models out there. Like 5.4 just came out. Granted, this video came out 13 days ago, but like there's a whole bunch of LLMs that you could train, like build a train. It doesn't have to be an integration. And I think that's what we got to get more into. Like, not everything has to be an integration into the world or whatever brain that we're trying to feed. Make your own product, make sure it's a good product and that the data isn't like faulty. That is literally what AI and LLM should be used for on a day to day basis. Not to run our lives. It should just be there as like a kind of like a helper to allow us to gauge what's going on in front of us. I feel like we're putting too much power in the AI's hand, and we're doing that because we were never that good in the idea of tech. Like, and there's a lot of fallacy in tech. Like, we're making breakthrough or a lot of like advancements. Give me the biggest advancement we had ever since Tesla came out. Give me the biggest advancement we had ever since the iPhone came out. What about laptops? Gaming laptops were the best thing that happened, but after that, what happened? or gaming PCs, gaming everything. So we're at like a plateau, like what you're saying right now. Like we're definitely plateauing, but it's so funny how humans will blame the AI rather than notice how we, as a generation of species, just plateaued when it came to our evolution. The fact that AI has the potential to outpace human evolution by years and years and years is mind blowing, bro. And there's nothing we can do about it. And humans are not young, nigga. We been in this bitch for a minute. AI been in this world for two. I'm not even gonna say 2 years. 2 human years or three, wait, 4 good human years, bro. I need an AI to human converter because honestly I don't want to keep saying that it's 4 years. I feel like that's too much disrespect to the AI. In 4 years, AI Chat GPT was 7 years old. Can you believe that in 4 human years of time, Open AI Chat GPT turned 7? What more? What more is there to say? Like that doesn't even mathematically make sense to a human. It does to an AI though.
Autonomously. It could also take your audiences and create personalized versions of content for each audience and play with the knobs to make sure every piece of content is as highly converting as possible in a 100% automatic way. And if you take that one step further, you could even see we're not that far away from a world where we can do one-to-one personalization, where the AI is generating parts of the user journey in real time as they're browsing. So as you browse the site or app, or I do, we could see completely different flows optimized for exactly us, generated by LLMs in real time. This one's probably the furthest because we have to worry about cost and latency, but as more and more LLM optimized hardware comes out, and we're seeing up to 5x gains in speed and efficiency of inference, this might not actually be that far away. So while I don't think everyone will be a developer overnight because of AI, and I do think the more you have development skills, the more you can use the AI to generate code, unblock yourself, and do incredible things, I think the biggest unlock that's coming is better connecting the AI tools with your existing teams and workflows to be able to build and iterate on real applications faster than traditional methods while maximizing the skills of everyone. And we all build better products faster together and focus on our unique skills and creativity and less of redundant menial work.
Now, the one-to-one theory you had, I never thought of it like that. And now that you're thinking of it like that, it gives me time to flirt with your idea, which is what programming is. Oof. Ideas being flirted with. No one got to be right. I definitely see that one to one. Like, I definitely see a time period, and this goes back to the labor market where a lot of jobs will be like behind the screen. So if I'm a user shopping or doing whatever I'm doing, there's gonna be another, what I would say, person behind there monitoring the agent, probably supervising the website or whatever. But that'll be done on a mass level. Every customer a business has is gonna have its own individual person behind the screen. Like I get that one to one that you're saying. It sounds it sounds like something that I'd be waiting for. Like peer to peer, like shopping and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like imagine shopping with your buddy online. Or imagine like experience that's gonna be seen by the other party on the other side of the phone because of how AI and well, I guess you could say integration right now because that is your theory. So AI and the integration of bots and agents. I don't know. I can't wait till Builder does something new. Honestly, like I don't know. Yo, these have been the craziest 12 days of my fucking life. Google just keep going back to back to back to back to back to back to back. This ain't even fair no more, huh?
This is VO2, Google's second iteration, and somehow it manages to surpass every single video model that currently is available. And that does include the recently released Sora 2, which was from OpenAI. And it's really, really surprising considering Google haven't had the best track record. But it seems that this December, Google have surpassed everyone's expectations in terms of what they are capable of with regards to AI development. As
Damn, I'm shocked. I'm gonna let it finish, but Google?
we've had update after update showing us that Google clearly are now the industry leader when it comes to AI development. This marks a historic moment as this is a time where AI is more competitive than ever, and being able to top the leaderboards in terms of software that is not only the best, but the best by a decent margin. This means that Google is clearly back on their AI game and is setting new standards for other industry leaders to live up to. Now, incredibly, like I said before, not only is this something that is
Now, with all due respect, I ain't taking nothing from Google. Congrats to them. But yeah, I gotta understand that's the largest search engine we got right now. And the amount of data they have to train on is fucking ridiculous, bro. So while OpenAI and their model kind of gets backlash for copyright and all the other stuff, Google just harvests all of our data since, the dawn of the internet. I guess they get to skip a lawsuit too, right?
visually appealing as well as visually striking. When you do take a look at Veo in terms of the actual benchmarks, we can see how it is compared to others and how those other models performed. You can see right here that Meta's MovieGen, a 1080p video generator that is remarkably good, doesn't manage to match up. It is only preferred around 30% of the time, and over 50% of the time, we can see that Google's model takes the cake, as well as Kling 1.5, which is a model that I know a lot of people in the creative industry are using for various different projects, and it's been highly touted as a model that is outstanding. We can also see one of the very best models, Minimax, actually coming in at just 30% when it looks at how much they've preferred that model, and of course, Sora Turbo, OpenAI's.
Honestly, I don't like how data is being presented this generation. Like, I get it has to be two variables, bro. Like, like you can't put other preferred. Give me what others prefer. Like, you have to make the data make sense.
Recent iteration of models, we can see that that one actually is the least preferred when it comes to looking at what kind of models are preferred. So overall, across the board, we can see that Google's models are clearly better than any other industry standard text to video generation models, which is, like I said before, very surprising considering that this is their second iteration and they didn't release the first one publicly for quite some time. And it seems like, or it would have seemed like, Google would have been behind considering a lot of other people were using many other models. So overall, right here in the benchmarks, you can see that over 50% of the time, near 60% of the time, people will be choosing Google's models in terms of full video generation. When we also look at the prompt adherence, I do apologize for the quality here, but we can see as well that this is where Google's models also outperform. Now, one of the things that I do really like about this model is the fact that this model does have incredible physics capabilities. One of the large issues with these video generation models is that they are generative AI systems, meaning that things aren't really understood at the physical/granular level, which leads to inconsistent/hallucinated outputs. But Google have managed to cook up something new here with Veo 2. It doesn't give us details on the entirety of the architecture, but whatever they have done shows us that this model is one that really and truly understands the physical world. We can see that cutting the tomato not only looks really, really juicy and plump as the knife is cutting through it, all those subtle movements and changes and vibrations are visible in the tomato. And then when the tomato is laid onto the other one, we can see it actually does look.
Now, if we rating it based off of like, here's how I'm grading it. You remember how you play video games, and if you really was a gamer, you got to see the change in graphics, how shit got so like grainy to HD, and it was like fucking amazing, bro. That's how I'm comparing this. I feel like a lot of other AIs can motherfucking cut a tomato and make a video of cutting tomato. What makes this video a little stand out is the tomato on Google's end is like juicy. You feel me? It got a little juice in it. It's giving like human. You feel me? Like that's all I could say. It's giving I'm a real boy, Pinocchio voice. So I fuck with it.
look incredibly perfect with regards to the positioning of that fruit. So overall, we have something that has a really good understanding of how objects interact with each other. I'm not sure how they've done it, but whatever they have done is working really well. Now, one of the things that can be really hard to nail when dealing with a text to video generator is, of course, dealing with liquids. Liquids are highly unpredictable and they move in ways that take traditional machines genuinely hours and hours to compute all of those little particles.
Yeah, because I could already see the syrup.
So when we do
That ain't it, bro. That should look like. Nah, that I ain't gonna listen. That ain't it, bro.
see accurate fluid simulations, this shows us that the
That ain't it, bro.
model that they've managed to develop is one that is really coherent. If you've ever tried to generate your own water simulations, you'll know just how tedious that can be. So in these examples right here, we can see that there are two kinds of liquid. You can see that we have the coffee being poured. There's all sorts of subtle nuances in the coffee that I really like to see there, those small details. And then of course, when we look at the syrup, that is also something that looks really detailed in terms of the syrup flowing at exactly the right speeds in terms of it compounding on one another. So overall, I do think that the physics is something completely incredible. Now, I did come across this demo in which you see someone pouring coffee, and this one looks really incredible.
Let's see.
See someone pouring coffee, and this one looks really incredible because we act pouring coffee incredible. Now, I did come across this demo in which you see someone pouring coffee, and this one looks really incredible because
I don't know. I feel like, yeah, I'm gonna be the person to be hard on it. Nah, it's not it too. The cup is already full, and then you pour in a cup that's half full into already full cup, and the cup didn't spill over. That's not fucking physics. What the fuck are we fooling? This nigga says incredible physics. That's not physics, bro. That's the AI trying to generate something that it can't.
we actually get to see how these liquids manage to move from one object to another. So this was something that I found to be completely remarkable. It was something that I really did like. For example, when he actually puts the glass back, you can see there is a slight jiggle in the water right there. So when he puts it down, you can see that the water manages to move, which is just, all these subtle details just add to the kind of realism that this model is able to generate. So this is something that gives me a large amount of confidence in Google's ability to actually get the job done when it comes to producing models that are really effective. And that should be to no surprise, because Google are often the ones that innovate when it comes to this kind of technology. I'm not exactly sure what the exact piece of technology was, but when it is regarding the current state of video development, there was a breakthrough that Google actually made that led to the creation of many different efficient models like we do have now, such as Sora, and the other ones like Minimax. Now we can also see another example here of someone, pouring a very cold drink. Now we can also see another
Alright, now this one is a good one. The
example
reason
here
it's good, you could see his hand going, like you could see the
such
shit.
as Sora, and
Like you could see him. What do you call it? I'm about to say it in Creole. You could see him like turning it,
the other ones like
mixing
Minimax.
it.
Now we
There
can
you
also
go. I had a brain fart.
see another example
You could see him mixing it.
here of someone
You could see the ice
and
moving.
the other ones like Minimax. Now we can also see another example here of someone, pouring a very cold drink, and then we can also see the accurate fluid simulations. But enough with the incredible physics. What about the strange and the wonderful examples of characters being generated? What about a sitcom TV show with potatoes? You can see right here exactly what that looks like. I'm not sure why this person generated potatoes, but what we should take away from this is that the character consistency does look really, really effective. Now, another interesting example, if we're no longer going to look at potatoes, is this prompt of a car going top speed through a road until reaching a waterfall, and then it gets to the waterfall and jumps off a mountain. So this is a really striking example of how you can see the car managing to run through a waterfall, not run, actually drive. And then you can see that this car is able to accurately perform very well when it comes to the physics of what we're seeing here. So the waterfall looks really nice. You can see that the splashdowns look really nice. Overall, it's just something that looks really, really remarkable in terms of what the model is able to do. And I don't have any doubts that individuals that do get access to these models are going to have some really creative outputs that they're going to use. And when we actually take a look at prompts that are this difficult to perform and pull off with such a long form in terms of, the character consistency, ensuring that the car doesn't deform and mangle. One of the problems I've seen from many different video generators is that sometimes the car will morph and shape into a completely different brand or just a completely different object. So the crazy thing about all of this is that, for those of you who don't continually use these video models, you aren't actually truly understanding just how big of an advancement this is. But I'm really trying to drive that point home to you guys that this is truly a model that is a step ahead of the competition in simply all areas. And if you want to go back to potatoes, you can see this example of a cinematic action kung fu movie, and the protagonist is a potato wearing a long black leather coat, and it is raining heavily. I think this is an example.
I think it's, I don't want to respect the person, but I think it's a cute animation. Potatoes, you feel me? But I don't see no technical, I don't see none technical. I see someone trying to bare minimum to see if this is a good app. I know because whenever you try a new language, like when you code or program, what's the first thing you make? A to-do list, a calculator, one of them stupid ass apps just to make sure you know all the syntax and all of that stuff that's gonna be included in one of those apps. Something basic though. That's how I know this shit is like something basic. There's two potatoes in this video. Two potatoes in this video. That means they only know how to curate potatoes. Why we don't got a tree? You feel me? It might have too much details. The potato is just round and brown. So you can see why that's the base archetype.
Of multiple different things coming together successfully here, such as the prompt adherence, as well as the rain looking really well there. So that example is one that honestly I can't say I would have believed is AI generated unless someone certainly told me, because everything I'm looking at, I truly don't see any issues with it at all. Now, Google's VO project VO, the text to video generator, isn't the only thing that they managed to launch with this. They also decided to launch their frontier model, which is a text to image model, Imagen 3. Now, Imagen 3 is essentially their image model that surpasses absolutely everything on the leaderboards. You can see here where it ranks in terms of overall ELO rating. And like I said already, I think this shows us once again that Google is taking back the reins in terms of showing us all that, look, these guys are the ones that invented most of the technology that these AI models are powered by anyways. So it shouldn't be a large surprise that they are coming back to the throne, and they are doing so with full force. So it's not just a video model that they've released today. They've also released an image model that seems to be the leader in terms of outright coherence. So if you're wondering how this model works in terms of the prompt adherence, it's absolutely incredible. If we actually take a look at the Image Labs area, where you actually get to
I got a cramp in my neck. I ain't expect to see a rhino on a motorcycle.
create these image models, it shows us that the kind of UI that they use is one that is not only easy for beginners, but also even for advanced users. It's simply the best in terms of allowing you to construct a prompt that enables you to control exactly what you want to see. Credit to Ethan Mollick for these photos, but you can see right here that with Imagen 3, it really understands exactly what you want. And with the drop down ability for certain words, essentially what you're able to do is you're able to control certain parts of the image and swap them in and out. You can see right here, one of the key prompts that I found to be rather fascinating was this close-up of a man's eye, and in the eye you can see it's reflecting some garlic bread, which is a really difficult prompt to pull off. So this is once again another example of Google's models pulling ahead. We also get
Alright. That one, and it's detailed too. Alright, Google. Yeah, did your shit.
so
I give
this
it
is
to you.
once again another example of Google's models pulling ahead.
You say what you want. You gonna earn that. You gonna earn that thumbs up, boy. And it's really because the garlic bread detailed into a pupil, nigga. That's as technical as you gonna get, my boy.
To pull off. So this is once again another example of Google's models pulling ahead. We also get to see a photorealistic image of a potato fighting a vampire on the
Alright. This is where I'm gonna see if this is a very good generated photo. Alright, yeah, it's good. Mainly because the moon has the moon look like the moon, like on the floor and stuff, and stars in the background. Can we stop using a potato?
moon, which is rather interesting. I'm not sure why anyone would prompt this, but that is the point of AI, for you to embrace your creativity and explore all of your ideas. So overall, I think it is absolutely incredible that Google have managed to produce Veo and Imagen 3 that are state of the art in terms of their performance compared to any other company, and it seems to be that way by a long shot. So with that being said, Google this week have simply reclaimed the throne in terms of video, in terms of text to image, and of course in terms of their overall AI models and the future. So with that being said, are you guys more bullish on Google? Now, I certainly am looking forward to anything else that they have.
Yo, nah, I'm not gonna say that because then I might like fuck with a nigga. But honestly, Google, 10 out of 10. I give it to you. Y'all made TensorFlow. Y'all making tools to make developers' lives easier. Even though you harvest our data, sell it to the highest bidder. At least you tell us and you give us options on what country you want information to be sold at. You can't be mad. The nigga still gonna sell your shit. Yo, gotta hop right into what's the name? The Prism. Prism. Hop right into it.
I saw this tweet and I figured this was going to go places. I can't find the automatic tweet anymore. I think it got deleted. But this is WP Engine. They have been granted a motion to which that they can have their ACF plugin back. For those that don't know, WordPress not only shut down their access to having WordPress's NPM repository, so that means WP Engine can't be grabbed from that. They also got shut down to the point where WordPress took over their plugin and made it so that when you went to the ACF, you actually got WordPress's version of it. They took over the name, and so it was completely confusing. A lot of people obviously were pretty dang upset about that. You even had to check a checkbox that said, if you were to log into WordPress.org, you actually had to check a checkbox saying, I am not affiliated with WP Engine. Really, really insane behavior, because that is just that is completely ridiculous behavior. But nonetheless,
Yo, honestly, I don't know what community I'm really tapped into, but if you not well versed in what he said, it's basically a person trying to be you. Everything you trying to do, for yourself, is gonna go under their name type. Like being under a record label. You can't ever release music and get paid for it without their name attached to it. So it's that's wild behavior. We normalize it in music because hey, that's a different topic. I ain't in entertainment. Tech is where I'm at right now. That's just an example of what's going on with WordPress and WP Engine.
they've been living like that for months at this point, and so this has just happened. It looks like things are kind of turning around in a different way. So let's look at this. WP Engine just won a preliminary injunction against WordPress.com parent company Automatic on Tuesday. A California district court judge ordered Automatic.
Oh man, the child in me wants to say it. Yo, he doesn't have a mustache that looks like Doctor Disrespect. I had to say it, bro. I ain't gonna say you look like him because of the allegations he's going through, so I'm not gonna put that on your name. But you know that mustache? That's it.
To stop blocking WP Engine's access to WordPress.org resources and interfering with its plugins. The preliminary injunction comes after WP Engine, a third-party WordPress hosting service, filed a lawsuit that accused Automatic and its CEO Matt Mullenweg of multiple forms of immediate irreparable harm. It later asked the court to stop Mullenweg from restricting WP's Engine's access to WordPress.org. Mullenweg waged. That is quite the Mullenweg waged. That's like a mouth warm up. Mullenweg waged a public campaign against WP.
Say it 3 times. Mullenweg waged. Mullenweg waged. Mullenweg waged.
Engine in September, accusing the service of misusing the WordPress trademark and not contributing enough to the WordPress community. After blocking WP Engine access to Engine from WordPress.org servers, Automatic took control of WP Engine's ACF plugin. For those that don't remember this, dude, that was pretty crazy that they did that. If you went to the website, it would actually be AFC as the website with the slug and everything, but it would be secure custom form. This whole thing, I cannot believe how far this has happened. Like, look at what we're looking at. It's how many months later, and this is still happening? Like, it's still happening, and it's going all the way to the... I can't believe this is actually happening. This just feels like an unreal situation. And the real question is going to be, what is Mullenweg's retaliation after this? Because it appears that he has absolutely no concern just about going all in on this. Like, he has no problem letting other people lose their jobs, lose stuff.
Dude, Mullenweg is saying you, like he's just flipping everyone off, bro. Like, part of me want to like blame him, but I honestly love it for the community of tech. If you're not supposed to belong in there, you don't belong in there. And if you allow someone like Mullenweg, yes, I said it right, to come and take your chicken, you deserve to have no chicken. As a developer and all of that stuff, if you're embarking in a business in this field, I feel like y'all should adopt a more free way of running it rather than constraining yourself to what a regular entrepreneur would do. You should be more of an innovator so your business can be exactly like your competitor. Because this is what happens. And you can't say I'm wrong.
Stuff to try to hurt WP Engine. And so I wonder what are the chances that Matt just shuts down WordPress.org, effectively shuts down NPM. That's pretty much the next step. Yeah, out of spite. Yeah, that's the thing is out of spite, I think he could actually do that. Just shut it down and just effectively screw everybody. He's post-economic, right? Shutting down NPM. No, when I say NPM, I don't mean he shuts down NPM. WordPress.org is like NPM to the WordPress ecosystem. Sorry, if you didn't understand that, that's what I'm trying to say, is that it's like shutting down NPM. It's like today, if you just could not use NPM all of a sudden, so many people's ability to make node projects would just completely fall apart. If you were not on Dino's ISR or whatever they call it, JSR's repositories, it would just be like, it would be really, really bad, right? And so that's kind of like the last step. And it just, at this point, I
knew it, but it's like clicking like, yo, WordPress engine dead relies on that. So restricting it is like having a bunch of websites with gadgets that just won't start. So he's about to have
wouldn't be surprised if he didn't do that. Judge Araceli Martinez Alguin, is that how you say that name? Alguin, found merit in WP Engine's claims that Automatic's actions harmed business relationships, saying Mullenweg's conduct is designed to induce breach or disruption. As for Automatic's arguments that blamed WP Engine for relying on WordPress.org to power its business, Judge Martinez Alguin didn't find it very compelling. Yeah, he said that there was no merit. I believe that was like the exact quote was that there's no merit in his arguments. Even a judge looked at what Matt Mullenweg was saying and said, "Nah, there's like nothing here. Like what you're saying is not good."
Yo, in a situation like this, you can't have a regular legal representation, bro. Like, what is a lawyer with regular legal things gonna help with when it comes to tech? They don't understand. Like, let's be real. It's like putting a chef in a room with people that really don't make food. They really talk basketball. What the chef gonna say? Oh, can I cook you up something?
Kind of wild. It is pretty wild. Like, I mean, it's also good that it is going to trial in a sense that we shouldn't rely on a single judge to make these decisions. And hopefully, a good trial happens, and then you can have the full confidence that the judge made the right decisions. To me, this seems like the right decision. It's crazy that WP Engine or WP WordPress.org required the check mark. Good answer. Yeah, that's a good answer. Maybe this is the end of WordPress. I would not be surprised if this is the end of WordPress, but I don't think it would be nice.
I ain't gonna lie. I feel like I get you, but you just explained that shit so like bonkers. Because you said something earlier, and I think that I ran with it, but you're saying the same thing just in a different way. But I get you, definitely get you. And if WordPress does go out of business because they out here using other people's, I don't know, this is just an unusual situation. Like you don't hear stuff like that. It makes me scared for what OpenAI might go through with Elon Musk. Because Elon Musk has so much money tied into it, like, and low key, you you don't want to be in that situation again in any sector of business. But if it happens in the sector of AI, then it's like, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm.
And why I don't think it'd be nice is that countless people rely on the income generated by WordPress. Countless people rely on that ecosystem. Countless people rely on WordPress.org to be able to deliver a bunch of content for them to be able to have their website. If it were to go down, it would cost a lot of people their livelihood. It would cost a lot of people, it would cause a huge amount of disruption. I'm not going to shit on WordPress. I think a lot of people unjustly shit on WordPress. Like, you forget when WordPress was created. WordPress was created in a time in which there was no Docker, there was no NPM.
Let's look up when WordPress was created, bro. Let's look that shit up because what we not gonna do is not shit on WordPress because WordPress is ass. Creation date May 27, 2023. Alongside WooCommerce, Joomla. Oh, 2003. Okay, I was about to say, whoa, you had ChatGPT, bro? Drupal came out in 2001. Hold on. I'm trying to find not the initial release date, the other things that came out on the release date. Release date. Okay, so I'm gonna do May 27th, 2003. Tech products. All right, that should be. Yeah, WordPress was. I ain't gonna lie to you. I take back what I said. I ain't gonna be hard on WordPress because they came out. The Apple line came out around the same time, but basically streaming came out at that same time too, and it's still stuck around. What is it? Palantir Technology. Yeah, it's still stuck around. Whatever.
There was
Whatever.
no nothing, right? Like, WordPress was created so long ago, and the ability to keep on going through all of this many years later, it's very impressive what has been accomplished. So of course that its designs and everything aren't that great because you're always kind of bound by the design decisions you've made at the beginning. That's why everybody always rewrites it in Rust eventually, because you can just let go of all of your previous decisions and then you get a new product and it's in Rust and everyone cheers you on, right? That's the classic rewrite it in Rust mentality. You make a decision, 20 years later, you make a new decision, rewrite it in Rust. But Molenweg is just absolutely unhinged behavior. All right, while defendants characterize WP Engine's harm as
What we're gonna do if we're gonna do reactions is research, cause I ain't gonna sit here and cap. Rust language. He said 20 years later you can use it. Use it? Like, you feel me? That sounds interesting. Thanks for the manual memory allocation and local commands. Rest of the programming hardware. Perfect. Blah, blah, blah. Rust is perfect for programming hardware devices with tiny processors and limited RAM, such as microcontrollers. So I'm gonna say, is it wise to start and develop with full stack? If it's for fun, then sure, why not? Not really. If a client goes to the project, we're quite flexible. We're gonna build something. All right, that makes sense. Rust. Well. I guess the question is, why do you use Rust? Level 7D wizard. That is what I would say, because I ain't gonna judge.
self-imposed because it built its business around a website that it had no contractual right to use. Defendants' role in helping that harm materialize through their recent targeted actions toward WP Engine and no other competitor cannot be ignored. This is like perfectly stated. This is absolutely perfectly stated because it is correct. Like the judge correctly identified this, and I believe he even said in his stuff. I saw some tweets going around that the judge said that he has no idea how tech works and all that, and so he kind of laid that out. This is perfect. That WP Engine did build its business around a website. This is true. So there's always inherent risk in doing that. But Molenweg went after him specifically and nobody else. That's different, right? Like once you do that, you've crossed into the realm in which just looks vindictive and bad. It looks like you're actually trying to cause material harm, which he even stated publicly that he's going to cause material harm, and even stated publicly that he's going to go nuclear option on them. So it's kind of like you've just sat there and had a gun to your foot and you just keep shooting yourself in the foot over and over and over again. The ruling found that the WP Engine showed it will suffer irreparable harm without injunctive relief, while also impacting members of the WordPress community. Under the preliminary injunction, Automatic will have to take down the list of companies it displayed on its site it created to track outgoing WP Engine customers, as well as remove the checkbox.
All right, so like, I want to play devil's advocate just for a little bit. Yeah, he definitely violated and he went nuclear, right? But on the flip side, there's no rules and regulations to tech. No one understands tech. So, like, technically, we kind of not giving Mulligan a fair shot at defending himself, because y'all criticizing him based off of a crime as if it was like non-technical, and this was completely technical. For all we know, what Mulligan did could have been only in terms of competition. We treating it like it's war crimes. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't think it's a war crime. If anything, it shows you that imperialism still lives on today, just in the tech side.
That asks WordPress users to verify they're not affiliated with the WP Engine when logging in. That's still so crazy. Okay, hold on. Okay, why am I pressing Control Click? And why is it updating the current website I'm on plus opening up a new one? That's not okay. What is this one? WordPress.com owners launched a tracker for sites leaving WP Engine.
Whoa.
Hey, guys.
Whoa. What do you mean they put a tracker to track people who leave in the engine?
It's like they wanted to be sued. It's like they're just begging to get.
Hold on. Before you continue, I rescind any comments that I have said about whoever at this point. I don't want to play devil's advocate. I can't defend a nigga shooting himself in the chest. He ain't even shooting himself in the foot. Like, you invasive. you're aggressive, and you're just like belligerent with how you're moving, bro. Like niggas can't even tell you nothing because you might chop a nigga head off. Golly, man. It's just WordPress, bro. What are you... Whatever, man.
Sued out of their mind. Because you know, a lot of these people right here, a lot of these people left because they're probably just a bunch of mom and pop shops that they don't know what they're doing. And the one singular tech person's like, hey, we have to move off. I can't even update. Like, I can't do anything. We have to move off of WP Engine. Like, a lot of people's hands were just simply forced by WordPress.org. That's crazy. It doesn't matter if it's a marketing stunt. This is actually insane behavior.
It's crazy because I used Webflow. Now I remember it. I did not want to use WordPress because I made a WordPress website, and for some strange reason, my website was ass, bro. Like it was not the way. I know what website I made, and I wanted to have go online and publish. It wasn't that, and I couldn't even get like another theme to match close to what I had, right? So I switched over to Webflow. Was Webflow better? Hell no. But you know what Webflow had that WordPress didn't? Themes and plugins that I could fucking put into my website, bro. And oh, I can make a website that look bad, look galore. The WordPress, they, and even then, Webflow and WordPress, you got a better chance making it yourself, like from scratch. I ain't gonna lie to you.
That the WP Engine tracker says that more than 16,000 sites stopped using it. If there has ever been anything that has shown somebody to be so liable, like by the law, to be held for like claims of intentional harm, this has to be it. Not only are you trying to put WP Engine in the grave, you then made a public post of you dancing on the grave, right? Like, dude, out of all things to do, like this picture, you know that you know the meme with the guy by the grave? Like this is the picture on the grave. Like the guy is actually just sitting there. Oh my goodness. This is so unhinged. $50 a month or more for each of those sites. Yeah, it's a lot of. It is literally, this is insane amount of money. Because if you just did a quick thing, so 16,262 times 50, approximately $50 a month to host it, times 12. So that is going to be what, $10 million. It's
whoa, hold on. See, WordPress, y'all might have been on to something. Cause y'all track $10 million going missing better than than IRS would do some of these niggas out here, bro. Whatever tracking system y'all got, dude, is working. Almost $10 million in just loss. My boy, that is immaculate work when it comes to like you gonna write all of this off? I got questions, tech questions, CTO questions. I ain't even sure why y'all did that, but I'm looking at it like, is y'all trying to like think of it like this? If you get something on credit, you gonna pay it back, you get charged off, right? When they get charged off, they write it off in tax because that's a loss that they face during the year. That's why they charged it off. It's basically like them comping it to the loss they took this year and getting it back at the end of tax. That's why we got bill collectors. I ain't gonna cap. So WordPress, yo, put me on. Nigga, I don't need y'all to explain. I need y'all to put me on. Like, what y'all doing? Y'all, you know what I'm saying? Y'all keeping track of everybody that's leaving or who left already. Y'all just monitoring. And is y'all, in my opinion, y'all should just have an AI gauge and kind of like always have a chat bot with every person that got a website. Like just add that as a feature. So at least you could gauge what each customer's level of I don't want to be here is. So you can like, you know what I'm saying? That's just me.
28,000 at the moment. 28,000 sites at the moment. You're talking practically $17 million a year. Whoo! Okay, let's just say I got $50 wrong. It's $50 a year. Let's just pretend it's only $50 a year. That is still $1.4 million. Is it $50 a year or $50 a month? Either way, that's an
Honestly, it doesn't even matter, bro. Anyhow, I'm losing $1 million. Y'all say y'all saying it like 17 million and 1 million, not the same amount of L for a nigga like us. Not them. It may not hurt them, us. Nigga, if I lose 1 million, if I lose 17 millions right now, I'm gonna cry the same. I ain't never had that much money. They had it already. They got under a business. So y'all niggas is just nitpicking numbers, bro. Y'all know what he mean.
that's just so
That's
much
insane.
money.
That's insane.
And they're celebrating it. Holy cow. Holy cow.
That's insane.
Oh yeah. It totally does work. Total WP sites. Oh my gosh.
That's 28.
Look at them go down. They're like celebrating. Oh. Oh. Oh my. This is such bad behavior. This is such bad behavior. I have never seen anything like this.
Who's
The thing
celebrating?
is that
Nah, I ain't gonna lie. You must have some wicked ops for them niggas to just really want to like celebrate after whooping your ass, bro. And they just trying to whoop your ass, bro. Like, what did you do? What is yo, bro? This can't be some shit that could be resolved with tech, bro. Go get the strap. Go get the strap, bro. Cause ain't no way you gonna resolve this with some codes. It's way past coding, my nigga. You gonna have to reprogram this nigga whole body, bro. Go get the strap, man.
my kids don't act this childish. At least my kids know that when they do something wrong, they don't go around telling everybody about it. If my kids had the technical prowess, they would not make a website claiming what they've done incorrectly. Bro's about to be economic again. Bro's about to be pre-economic. This is worse than kid behavior. This is just baby child kid behavior. That's all it is. This is exactly what I would expect.
You know what's funny? It's child behavior, but it's everything the industry is. Like when it comes to tech, like it's a bunch of fucking bros and rags and shit trying to make it seem like, yo, I know more than you. I can get you into this job. Do this, do that. Like, shut the fuck up, bro. Like, oh God, shut the fuck up, bro. Like, most of y'all niggas don't even know what y'all doing. Y'all still going Stack Overflow. Y'all use OpenAI, one of these lame ass models, bro. And we get it. Y'all been there for like 90 years doing that, though. I don't want y'all to think that y'all was doing anything different. Y'all was a cog in the wheel, and every developer that come after you, you try to make a cog in the wheel too. So, like, shut the fuck up, bro. Word to.
From just a tiny children doing what children do best, which is they act like idiots. I mean, that's the whole point.
Yeah,
All right, oh
man.
here, nice. So this was the logon box that they required. You had to check mark, I am not affiliated with WP Engine in any way, to be able to log on to WordPress.org. So do you wonder why all these websites started to migrate away from WP Engine? Do you see the obviousness to this all? Wow. I did not realize it got this bad because I made a tweet like 2 months ago that I just stopped covering this stuff unless there's like a material change in the case. And I've just simply stayed away from this. I just didn't even look at anything. And I come back to this. You know the meme of the guy coming back with like pizza and the house is on fire? I'm coming back to the house is literally on fire, but hopefully it gets put out. Holy cow.
You gotta do it. Mamma mia. Just one time, bro. Just
WP
one
Engine
time,
responded to the
bro.
ruling in a post on X saying, "We are grateful that the court has granted our motion for a preliminary injunction that restores access to and functionality of WordPress.org for WP Engine, its customers, and its users." Meanwhile, Automatic spokesperson Megan Fox tells The Verge that the company looks forward to prevailing at trial. Megan
Fox. Why the fuck is this is what I'm talking about, bro. Y'all got the wrong representation in this motherfucking camp, bro. Why the fuck is Megan Fox talking about WordPress? What the
Fox. Oh, man. Megan Fox, if I were you, I would run as fast as I can from that because you know for a fact that you are going to be the fall girl. You know.
Yeah, dude. It's like the other when CoffeeZilla was trying to I forgot her name, right? But CoffeeZilla was trying to expose some crypto scam, and they used a famous influencer, and the influencer don't really know anything about crypto. So like, even if CoffeeZilla was right, he looked like a fucking idiot coming at someone who like you don't know what you don't know. That's what it looks like right now. Like, hmm, why is Megan Fox there, bro? Like, what you want? What you really want niggas to say in regards to defending themselves? You got an entertainment person, celebrity that like, what do you want them to say? Like, you ain't giving them no room to kind of
Know it. You know it. You are
like.
going to be hung out to dry and brutalized in the public eye. Like that's what's going to happen. Like I'm just throwing that out there. Yeah, Megan Fox, not the one that got dipped in the Pretty River by her thumbs. I assume this is a different Megan Fox. She was great in Transformers. She's the same, the absolute same. She's just decided to give up acting and go into WordPress public relationship management.
That doesn't even make sense. You don't go from acting to fucking WordPress, bro. You go to school. You go to fucking school or you pick up a book if you want to get into certain shit. You don't act and then call after if you have no history behind it, bro. That, they hang out to dress, so it really don't matter, right?
Uh, today's ruling is preliminary order designed to maintain the stat. Oh, yes. So this was the tweet that they made. This was a crazy tweet that they made. Hey, Eva. Today's ruling is a preliminary order designed to maintain the status quo. What does that mean to maintain the status quo? What is the status quo? Is the status quo not acting insane? Is that actually the status quo? This is the automatic tweet that I was looking for. This is what they responded to when losing, is that you're not allowed to materially and intentionally harm another company with every possible resource that you have, and that's maintaining the status quo. That's a good status quo. Yes, monopolies. It turns out monopolies aren't good. It's crazy that WordPress.org, who owns a hosting company, took down their chief rival in hosting and then promoted their own hosting company, including even tweeting the day that they revoked access, saying, hey, WordPress engine customers, we also have hosting, just in case you're wondering. It was made without the benefit of discovery. Our motion to dismiss or counterclaims will be we will be filing against WP Engine shortly. We look forward to prevailing at trial as
Yo, this the meanest L a nigga could take, bro. Not only can you not get your website that niggas stole from you back, or basically is extorting, regardless of how you want to look at it. Not only do you take a L there, you take a L publicly. Cause I don't know about y'all. I'm looking at this heifer right here, man. Like, at what point did you walk away? Like you are stupid as hell, folks.
we continue to protect the open source
Stupid as hell
ecosystem
trying
during
to
full fact
beat this
discovery
case.
and full review of the merits. All right, well, there you go. Seems fair and reasonable. You said WordPress engine. Matt wins. Yep, Matt wins. I know I said WordPress engine, and I just thought it was funny. Internally, I was like, someone's gonna be upset about that. All right. But seriously though, Megan Fox. Megan Fox. Oh man, Megan Fox, I'd be so careful. I just feel like she is going to definitely get all the blame in this situation. I feel genuinely bad, dude, being automatic spokesperson right now. I think you should only let Matt be the spokesperson. Okay.
And nah, yeah, hold
He's
on.
proved himself to be a
He's
very
proved
hinged
himself. Yeah.
and normal person.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely hasn't thrown like little anger situation, and definitely didn't just like rage quit Slack after the court injunction. Definitely hasn't